morning to everyone and welcome back to Policing with You. I am your host, Charmaine O'Dane. With me today we have ACP Rogers and Sergeant Henry. They're both going to tell us what role they're playing today. Introduce themselves to the audience, both listening and the viewing audience. ACP Rogers.
Okay, good morning. Well, you have done that honor in introducing ACP Rogers. But I am ACP Assistant Commissioner of Police, Chavez Rogers, and I am here on two folds, as Operation Directorate and as person attached to the committee from the police and the St. Kitts Music Festival Committee. I must apologize for the absence of Inspector Alric Edwards, who has other engagement at this time, but he is also attached with me to the Music Festival Committee.
Good morning, listening audience. I am Sergeant Henry and I'm from the Traffic Department. I'll be speaking on the traffic arrangement for the music festival.
Thank you guys so much. We all know the country is excited for the upcoming music festival that is 1 week away. So ACP Rogers, can you tell us more about the date, the day, and where the event will be?
Okay, thank you, Miss O'Dane, our host, our lovely host that is. And I want to say thank you for having me again. I was here last week with Inspector Thompson, and I appreciate that you brought me back to inform the public. And as you rightfully said, it's the 26th edition of the St. Kitts Music Festival. And this festival is slated to be held on the 27th up to the 29th. 3 days of excitement, of action, of music. I mean, we cannot ask for anything better. And I have been placed on the committee, and it's my job to inform the public on the police side what are the measures that will be taking place. I think you asked where it will be held. It will be held at the Warner Park Cricket Stadium, and partially the football stadium, which will be vending, but I'll get into that later.
Okay, thank you so much. You say you'll get into it later, so I'll ask it now. Can you explain to the listening and viewing audience the layout of the event, for example, the different entry points for the patron, the VIPs, and the vendors?
Okay, thank you. And important because, in past festivals and many of the festivals, some people don't listen and they come to the park and they don't know where to get ticket. They don't know where to enter the stadium. The VIP has to walk all around to get their areas, but we're trying our utmost best. At this time, every year we try to improve, to inform, and to ask the public to listen to the information so that on the night of the event that they are so au fait with what they can do to avoid wrong parking and wrong direction. So for example, the park, the cricket stadium, the main entrance would be on Lozak Road. That area where people park just above the football house, that would be our main entrance, as is always. The VIP, government officials and etc., and those persons for the sky boxes would be entering on Lozak Road, down in the tunnel and up to the elevator. The vendors will be using the Marathon Gate, and the Marathon Gate is that gate west or southwest of the football stadium, that big gate, and that would be used to enter the stadium with their goodies. I think entering would be around 5:30 to around 6:30 with and a replenished sometime around 11:30. Their volunteers would be entering through the Carnival City Gate, and that is the gate above where you enter for the football stadium, or when you enter in to go to the tennis court. That will be the volunteers who are helping to make this festival successful. The artists will be entering through the Park Range Gate, that is on the eastern side, just before after Barcy High School, coming from north to south. That will be artists only. All of these gates, they will be manned by private security and police, and they would give you direction. This year we're trying to improve on the signage, so there will be as many signage around to give you direction as well. And then, the courtesy will be extended by the private security and the gate persons who would give you direction to all. Ticket sales, physical tickets not here, but they will be selling tickets at the football stadium that is on Victoria Road, and you get your ticket there, and then you move to the location that you're so desired or you are slated to be.
Okay. If someone is listening and they don't know the cost of the music festival ticket, can you just...
I honestly knows the general admission, which is 50 US, 135 easy. That is very cheap for the best music festival in the entire world, I would say.
That is
yeah,
such a...
very cheap.
Yes.
You get sort of a kaleidoscope of artists, and just for 135, you can't beat that.
Thank you so much for that. Okay, while you say get 50 US upon entry for the general admission, tell me upon entry, what are the restrictions? Because you know, in everything you do, there's some restriction, especially in an international night like this.
Okay, restrictions. Just like every event, safety is paramount for the police and the private security. General, we have a committee. It comprises of private security, police, fire, medical. Yes, that's about it. And we're asking patrons, when you're entering, you shouldn't be entering with any weapons of any kind. That knives, scissors, firearms, etc., bottles, anything that can be utilized as a weapon against any person, any fan, any supporter or whatsoever. So we're asking you not to bring these to the music festival. If you do, they will be taken away, confiscated, and you will not receive that. For those persons with a firearm, we are asking you, if you wish to bring your firearm, you can take it to the nearest police station, log it in, and then you can collect it right after the show, because we know that at the end of the show you're going back to your home and you want to feel safe. So you get it, you're on Lazark Road, you get to Basset Police Station, which is the closest, you log it in there, and then you go and take it back up. After the show you should be safe between that distance, and then you go home with it.
For licensed firearms.
That's correct. The only persons allowed to take any firearm in there is the security forces, police, defense force, and maybe to some measure some customs officers.
So, thank you so much for that, ACP Rogers. While you rest your voice, Sergeant Henry, I have a few questions for you. First off, traffic is very important in this part. So tell me, what are the traffic arrangements?
Thank you, Sergeant. Again, the traffic arrangement for the music festival. Traffic will flow in one direction on Victoria Road, and that is from south to north. That's from Carroll Street onto Taylor's Range. Traffic will flow in one direction from north to south on East Park Range. So you leave in Taylor's Range and coming down to Lazark Road. And you can also turn onto the street directly behind NHC, what they call NHC Road.
Yeah.
Traffic will only flow in one direction on that road, and it's from west to east. So if you're coming from Wellington Road, you won't be able to allow to come through onto East Park Range. You can come through and go up your pan site, but you won't be able to come out on Lazark Road.
Okay.
Traffic will only be allowed to flow across Lazark Road, but they won't be able to turn up East Park Range. There will also be some restriction in parking on Victoria Road. On each side from Lazark Road to the Bastia High School, there will be no parking, absolutely no parking on both sides, on the east and the west side. On Park Range, traffic will be only allowed to park on the eastern side. On the western side, there will be no parking. Because you know we have some residents live up there.
Right.
So a person will be allowed to park their vehicle. But on the bottom of Park Range, from NHC go down on the eastern side, there will be no parking. And also on the same road, that directly behind NHC, there will be absolutely no parking on that road. And the cones will be placed on those roads for no parking. If anybody park their vehicle in a no parking area, the tow truck will be on hand to tow those vehicles, and they will also be ticketed.
Thank you so much for that, because that is so important for us who are driving to know the restrictions as to where we can go and what we can do and the direction in which the traffic can flow. Okay. What are the designated areas for parking, if any?
Okay, for the general public, they'll be allowed to park at the old Bastia High School ground. We have a lot of parking up there, so yes, we know the structure up there was taken down, so it's more than last year. We also have special parking with relevant passes, where a person will be able to park in Carnival City, the tennis court at Warner Park, and the Old Girls School. Parking for ministers and cabinet of parliament, ministers of cabinet and parliament ministers. They will be parked on Lozak Road. NHC?
Yeah.
They'll park in NHC
As well.
Okay.
as well. And VIP also will park on Lozak Road if they have that access pass. Parking for the taxis will be parked from Lozak Road, that's on the eastern side of Victoria Road, down to American Bakery. So any other than taxis parked there, their vehicle will be towed also.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Well,
for
just to add something with the park in the Bastia High School, and as Sergeant Henry would have indicated, lots of spaces. But what we're going to do as a committee, we're going to zone out that area. So persons, let's say it's zone 1 to 4, person will be indicated that you can park at zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. And those areas will be manned by parking attendants, traffic wardens, island constables, and private security. So there will be enough persons there. We're also looking at the Old Girls School grounds as well, that facilitate parking inside there. And there will be parking attendant to make sure that the parking they are done orderly and in a good fashion, so to allow enough vehicle to fit in the spaces.
Great. Thank you so much.
Also, before you move on,
That's okay.
also parking for the bar owners. They'll be allowed to park on the southern side of the football field.
Okay.
And the access, as Superintendent Rogers, will be through the Marathon Gate.
Don't demolish me, please.
And street vendors, sorry, SP Rogers, sorry about that. Street vendors will also be permitted on a portion of Lozak Road, and that is between Hart Street and Victoria Road. And Hart Street is where the prisoners, that's Hart Street. The VIP section will start on Lozak Road from East Park Range to Hart Street. And then from Hart Street to Lozak Road, there was for the vendors, but you have also persons live in that area, and they'll get special pass to park the vehicle. Other than that, no other parking there.
Awesome. Just before we take a break, tell us about the access for the emergency vehicles.
Okay. A medical site will be established in that same area, in the music festival area, and if for minor emergencies, anything other than that, and they have to move from that side, they will come out, turn left onto Victoria Road, and then onto Kearn Street, and to the Jennifer Hospital.
Thank you so much for that.
Before we go to the break, just to add on, we're just finalizing as a committee the location for the EMTs and the fire services. The medical team had some issues last year, and I think by the end of today we'll be able to say exactly where the medical team will select where it's safe for all. Alright, so but we know we have the fire and the Red Cross as well, who would be on hand in the same location. Generally it's in the northeastern side of the stadium, which is the Plus Pavilion, but we're finalizing that, and we're well ahead of time, and we have enough time to tell the public where to reach those areas.
Thank you so much,
Right.
ACP Rogers and Sergeant Henry. We're going to take a break now, and we're going to pay some bills and come back and take a few calls.
Fully. Yeah, voilà. Get ready on Sunday, June 30 from 4 p.m. Celebrate Cajun style as Carambola Beach Club presents White Sands Mardi Gras. Featuring the White Swimsuit Competition. Mixmasters DJ Smudge and DJ Terror of St. Kitts and Nevis. Ricky Platinum of the USA and Chromatic Sound out of Jamaica. Electrifying performances by St. Kitts' very own Highlight, I Got You Sweet, and Mention and Miller. International performances by Rising Jamaican dancehall star Najiri. The artist from Trinidad, Boys. And Chronicler of Jamaica. White Sands will be hosted by Jamaica's hottest radio host, ZJ Sparks. Sunday, June 30, Carambola Beach Club at 4 p.m. for summer's hottest all-white party. White Sands Mardi Gras. Tickets are just $100. Pay $120 at the door. For advance tickets, visit carambolabeachclub.com.
Tell them right now,
Welcome back to Policing with You. I am your host, Shaman Adin. With me, I have ACP Rogers and Sergeant Henry, who is basically educating us about the upcoming music festival, our do and don'ts, and what we should expect, whether from the traffic or from entering on the premises. I'm going to continue. Any calls, GQ? We don't have any calls at the moment, so Sergeant Rogers, I'm sorry. Sergeant Henry, I have a question for you. We know persons would be leaving their vehicles unsupervised. How can you ensure the public who may be concerned about parking their vehicles and the security of it? I heard ACP Rogers and yourself spoke about the traffic attendants and stuff like that, but how can you ensure the public about the security of their vehicles?
The public can rest assured that the vehicle will be supervised. Yes, we'll have traffic wardens on hand. We'll also have police officers and private security also. The police also will be patrolling periodically to make sure everything is in order. And the lighting will be adequate also. So they can rest assured it will be safe for them. Also, persons who attend the music festival, do not leave valuable items in your vehicle where a person can see them. Make sure you either leave them at home or you put them in a place where they are not visible. Because these things do attract criminals.
That is so important, Sergeant Henry. For some reason, I'm tying up my tongue with the ranks. Don't know why this morning. Yes, okay, we have a call. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
The panel.
Morning.
I just joined, but I have a question. I know you said traffic would be flowing from north to south on that's Park Range, right?
Yes, sir.
Question. What if a person lives between that portion of road, Lozak Road to just the road that you turn left, to so-call it across by NHC. If you're living in that vicinity, can you park between that little piece of road there?
You're talking about the road directly by NHC?
Okay, you're coming down from
Park Range.
Park
Taylor's
Range.
Range, yes, sir.
The first left-hand turn
Yes,
of the
sir.
Park Range, that is across by NHC. But if I'm living in the vicinity below that, onto Victoria, onto Lozak Road, would I be able to park my vehicle there?
No.
You don't understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
You're talking about to the bottom of Park Range.
No, I understand. Let me answer that. You're talking about between the road at NHC and Lozak Road. And you're
Lozak Road,
asking
yeah.
if persons will be allowed to park between that piece of road. If those persons approach us and let us know that they usually park there, then we will make the necessary arrangement for the parking for them. Same as in Lozak Road, because there's about 4 persons who lived on Lozak Road, and they will be given special passes to park there. No different to if you're living on Park Range and you approach us, because we may not know everyone. But in the interest of that road, small road between there, it's usually, from my knowledge, usually be empty nightly. Usually be empty at nights.
And let me just say something here before I go. Sometimes you, as the inspector that is in charge of traffic or whatever, right? You probably might have known, but for whatever reason, it slipped you to give the instruction to maybe the private security guard. And you sometimes, encounter some difficulties with some of the private security guards. No disrespect to them, or even the police. Sometimes you're telling them, I am living there and I have permission. So wouldn't it be safe to say or do that you give that person like a permit, something temporary to say, well, permission granted?
Yes, yes, a very good question and a very good concern. But this year, like we say, we try to improve every time with the security. And this year, the arrangement is so much different and it's well coordinated. We are working closely together, police, defense force, and the private security. And we know that the challenges that we have faced and we have faced over the years, and we're just trying to tweak it every time, so that it could be a better experience, not just for the patrons going to the festival, but for the persons who live in and around Warner Park. Yes, so thank you very much for that question, but it is important.
You're welcome, sir. Thanks.
All right, thank you for your call.
Okay, thank you so much, caller. SCP Rogers, can you tell us the do and don'ts when entering the grounds?
Okay, I think I answered that before,
Yes.
but yeah, but that's okay. I could repeat it because repetition is key. No firearms, no weapons. We will have a 420, or what we term a designated smoking area, and that would be on the between the football stadium and the cricket stadium, the northwestern side of the cricket stadium, and that would be put in place. We had it last year, and persons would be allowed to, of course, smoke the marijuana in the designated area. We are asking those persons who are so inclined to smoke to keep their distance, keep in their location. Do not come down in the general area of the patrons or the general public to smoke. Anybody who is found doing that will be dealt with. The music festival committee, we have put rules and regulations in place, and we're asking that persons adhere to those rules and regulations as it relates to the 420 or smoking, or designated area for smoking. You cannot come down and affect persons in the general admission area, because some person may be asthmatic, and that's why we have a medical person on the ground, and the smoke would not be tolerant, and you have to consider or be considerate that you would be affecting others. If you do so, we are going to be forced as a security forces to take action. The last thing we would want to do is to throw anybody out of the stadium, for lack of a better word, but that is what it would happen, that if you're not adhering to the rules and regulations of the festival, we will do what we have to do to ensure that patrons are safe, they are happy, and they have a good experience at the festival. Remember again, no weapons. Lighters, we're making a consideration that will be trickled down in the coming days as to if we're going to accept lighters within, or we're going to have them within the festival where we have lighting stations. All right. So, yeah, that's it when it comes to the security aspect.
I have a question. For those who entering for the 420, do you identify yourself at the gate, or you just go to the designated area?
Well, you go to the designated area. Your entrance would be the general admission. You come, and then you could go to the undergrounds if you wish, wherever. But once you're going to smoke, you have to go in the designated area for smoking.
Okay. Next question. What are some of the security issues that you faced last year, music festival?
Okay, smoking was one.
I know.
And yeah, so and we have to really address that. We have to plead to our people that I know you want to come down and you want to light up and you want people to see you and you want to respond to the artist's wording, but there are rules and regulations. Stay in your lane. Another we have is fighting. Persons tend to get drunk and get all excited and do all kind of manner of things, and then you have little small skirmishes. But we would have enough people on hand. We would break up those fights. We would talk to you, and if you can't behave yourself, you will be taken out of the festival. You will be arrested and taken to the Bastia police station. So we're asking, it's clean fun. Jump, drink, have. You understand? So fighting is one. The smoking is another. I don't think we don't have any other major. We may have persons who try to go on the stage, but the stage have security, and we're asking at this present time, do not go on the people's stage. Your area is on the ground. If you're asked by an artist, it might be a different situation. Alright? Another situation we have at the gates, and we're going to be taking care of that. When people come in the general admission, they cluster up by the gate saying that they're waiting for persons. No, you come in, you give your ticket or your accreditation, and you journey on. You make your communication early. Look, I am on the grass mound, I am on the stand, you meet me there. Because it is security risk. The security needs to see what is going on, so we're asking patrons to move on. Because they come in long before a friend and they're waiting there and infringing upon the security aspect of things. We are going to have the mobile command unit there. It usually park either on the mound or just when you enter the gate, and that is for reporting purposes. Any lost and found property, any report that you want to report will be reported there, and that will be reported from there to the VOC, the venue operations center, which will be manned by police, fire, defense force, and the medical people. That would be up in one of the skyboxes.
Thank you so much, ACP Rogers. I love that you said that the yearly post-mortem is done of the activity, and you try to the committee try to deal with these issues and try not for them to reoccur. Thank you so much for that. Sergeant Henry, I'm going to come to you now. After the show, what should we expect when it comes to the traffic? Educate us, where do we go? How will the traffic flow after the show? You and your team normally do a great job with that, so tell us, what do we do?
Thank you, Sergeant Odin, for that question. After the show, police officers will be on site, also security officers, that's private security officers, and to assist the smooth flow of traffic, we'll be there to direct the traffic. Persons who are traveling from the Bastia High School area will be allowed to come from through there and come east. And when they come from east, that's on Park Range, they'll be allowed to travel up to Park Range and turn right onto Taylor's Range. Persons who's coming from the western side, or if you're coming to the western gate, you come through Victoria Road, take a right up to Victoria Road onto Taylor's Range and take a left onto Taylor's Range. And persons who are entering the Bastia High School, there'll be only one entrance, and that is from the Victoria end. So when you're coming to the show, you come up Victoria Road and you take a right into the Bastia High School. As Superintendent ACP Rogers said, sorry, ACP, that there'll be designated areas for persons to park. So once you have that access, we'll direct you to your parking area. And we always stay on site until most of the vehicles are out of there.
Thank you so much, Sergeant Henry, for that. ACP Rogers, we're going to let you give us some tips. It is important because persons are going out to have fun, and sometimes we're so busy getting ready and stuff like that and not making sure that things are safe at home. So tell us how persons can prevent any alert when it comes to criminal activities by keeping themselves and their property safe.
Okay, thank you. I decided to, at the end of to give some crime tips, even though I'm not the crime directorate. but with years of experience, I think I am able to warn the public. First, you're leaving your home to the music festival, and you're going to be out for about 6 hours. And we're asking that you leave your home as secure as can be. Lock your doors, close your windows. If you don't have burglar bars, pull down those French sliding windows to prevent people from entering your house easily. If you have alarms, activate your alarms. If you have cameras, ensure your cameras are working. Keep lights on in your driveway and in and around your yard. I'm not saying keep the lights inside the house on, because I know it's an electricity bill, but just keep as much security to your property as can be, so that you could be secure. You could now rest assured that you're at the festival and your property will be safe. If you have hedges around your property and you need to cut them down and prune them so to ensure that persons cannot hide and waiting until you return. Because you return, you're maybe intoxicated, you're tired, your vision may not be as well, your mind may not be thinking, all you want to get in your house and sleep. And so you could be attacked that way. You could have your cell phone and other private property taken away from you. Yes, so lighting, hedges, and if you see something look suspicious when you're entering or when you're driving towards your home and you feel unsafe, do not go. Just maybe give a call to the police station, give a call to a friend, something is looking abnormal and you're not feeling safe, and you will get some assistance. I wouldn't say hopefully, but you will get some assistance, because prevention is better than cure in this regard. All right, so we're pleading to the people, just take care of your own security, because the police cannot do it alone, and we just want you to help us to help you. And with that crime tips, I'll leave that there, and I think that people would understand what I'm trying to say, and they would adhere to these warnings.
Thank you so much, and it's a timely, good timing. They have a week to prepare themselves, cut the edges and the hedges and all kind of lights, and prepare the cameras and everything in order to have a safe environment and come back home to a safe place. Anything from you, Sergeant Henry?
I just want to adhere to the general public, the motorists especially. Please to follow the rules and the regulation that will be put in place for this event. The parking, please do not park in an area where you're not supposed to park. As I said, the tow truck will be on hand and it will tow your vehicle. And the tow truck fee is $200 plus $100 for the ticket that you'll get for failing to comply with traffic sign. So $300 you'll have to pay.
For 50 US music festival ticket. It doesn't add up, so let's listen and be cautious of what our actions would be. I want to thank you guys for coming.
Let me give some final tips.
This morning, I'll let you give some final tips, ACP Rogers, before we wrap up.
Yeah, I want to point out something. Okay, let me just indicate to the patrons or person who are thinking of coming to the music festival that tickets are already online. Alright, so please purchase your ticket early, and then we will indicate to you when the physical tickets are here, and they'll be sold at various places. Just listen to the radio, listen to the music festival fringe events, and you will know there will be giveaways, there will be action, and you'll be aware. Lozak Road, I want to, on the days coming, we're going to be cordoning off or blocking off that platform where people park in front of the main entrance. This is to facilitate the erection of tents and other barriers for our comfort and the preparation for the music festival. So we're going to be giving out notice, and we're going to ask people, if we see barriers there and police signs, do not enter, do not move them and drive in. Otherwise, Sergeant Henry just gives some notice, your vehicle will be towed. Please, we're asking the people, do not park on that platform in front of Lozak Road, in front of the football house, when it's barricaded. And there are difficulties with parking, but in the meantime, you can park in Basse High School and walk out. Our people love to walk the shortest distance to their work, but we have to get accustomed to a growing nation. And I want to thank you, the listening public, by whatever means, for listening to us. If there are any questions, feel free to call us. You can call traffic. You can call the Bastia Police Headquarters at 662-1977 for any tips that you may want to get. All right. So thank you for having me. I appreciate being here, and it's all a pleasure to have you as my host.
Thank you so much for that, ACP Rogers, Sergeant Henry.
And thank you for having me also.
Most welcome. I want to thank you guys for accepting my invitation and coming so detailed and educating us as to not only the traffic, but being a patron and all of the necessary things that we need to know. It kind of shocked me with the towing. So I'm hoping that persons listen, because I don't think in this season anybody have $300 just to rest down to give to the tow truck and to Sergeant Henry and her team. So yes, thank you guys. I hope and trust that everybody listen and adhere to all of the warnings and the instructions given, and have a festive music festival. I am your host, Shamin Udin. GQ, I want to thank you, and ZIZ, and to you, the listening audience, for listening to us and for having us this morning. Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you. Bye.